Hello everyone, today we will introduce our study tour in Asian city, which is Turkey, Istanbul. Our group members have Hailey, Whitney, and Ashley.
Let me introduce the history of Turkey. The modern Turk was originally a branch of the Seljuk Turk. It moved from Central Asia to Asia Minor around the 11th century. Ottomans celebrated the Ottoman Empire in 1299. By May 29, 1453, Muhammad captured Constantinople and destroyed the Byzantine Empire. By the 16th and 17th century, especially during the period for Suleiman, the territory reached its heyday, ruling regions across Europe, Asia, and Africa. It began to decline in the 19th century, when the Ottoman Empire reached its peak. The sultans of the Ottoman Empire regarded itself as the rulers of the world because of its influence on the free continents of Asia, Europe, and Africa, and inherited the culture of the Eastern Roman Empire and Islamic culture. So, Eastern and Western civilizations were unified. In 1914, Turkey joined the Allies in World War and was defeated in 1918. According to the Versailles Peace Treaty, Turkey was lost a largest territory. In 1919, Kermas launched the National Liberation War. On October 29, 1923, the Republic of Turkey was established. Turkey is an Asian country geographically, with its capital located in Asia and a small part of its territory in Europe. So it is listed as a country spanning Europe and Asia. Our study tour is going to Istanbul. Istanbul is Turkey's largest city and the country's economic, cultural, and historical center. It lies on the Bosphorus Strait in the northwestern Turkey, between the Sea of Marmaris and the Black Sea, standing Eurasia with an economic and historical center of the European side and a third of the population sleeping on the Asian side.
This is our schedule of our study tour. You will see that every day we will provide different kinds of activities for the student. In this tour, we will fly with Russian Airlines. It will make a stopover in Moscow on the way about 10 o'clock in Turkey. We choose the Romanda Accord by Redham Istanbul Cartel for our accommodation. The hotel includes the breakfast buffet. That's why the student can enjoy breakfast in the morning.
In day 2, the first attraction is Topkapi Palace Museum. This place was built in 1467, built by Mehmed who is the conqueror. There are the Royal Palace of Turkey, Istanbul. The meaning of Topkapi is a cannon gate in Turkey. It consists of 4 courtyards, a harem inhabited by the Sultan, and many buildings of various sizes. At its peak, it also accommodated more than 4,000 people. The Topkapi Palace was heavily ground and became a self-sufficient city and city system. The former is early period of the Ottoman Empire, the Sultan's residence and administrative center, and the later is the middle and late political and administrative center. The 2 major historical sites of Turkey were included in the World Cultural Heritage in 1985. This palace witnessed the prosperity and decline of the Ottoman Empire. Their charge to museum in 1924 is one of the richest museums, so then can attract more tourists. The second attraction is Hagia Sophia Museum, built in 335 and rebuilding in 537 because of the fire, built by Constantine who is the Great. There is the religious buildings in Istanbul, Turkey, and have a long history of nearly 1,500 years. There have different religious background. From 537 to 1054 is Byzantine Christian Cathedral. From 1054 to 1204 is Greek Orthodox Cathedral. From 1204 to 1261 is Roman Catholic Cathedral. From 1261 to 1455 is Greek Orthodox Cathedral. From 1453 to 1931 is Ottoman Mosque. 1935 to nowadays is the museum, the most important mosque in Istanbul in these 500 years. The Blue Mosque, the other name is Sultan Ahmed Mosque. There was built in 1616 and built by Sultan Ahmed. There is over 400 years. Because of the design, it have the blue tiles on the walls, so that the name is the Blue Mosque. It is the first empire mosque of Sultan Ahmed. Also was to proclaim Ottoman power following war with Persia. And to this day, over 400 years later, it is still used as a place of worship. It's a very special mosque. Empire subterraneous surface is the Colosseum. The words of hippodrome is come from the Greek words hippo and dremos, mean horse and rope. Because of horse racing and two-wheelers racing were popular leisure activity in the ancient world, capable of 10,000 wheelers. The track is U-shaped and the charisma stand at its eastern end. The empire's stand has a passage directly to the Grand Palace. This passage is accessible only to the empire and other members of the royal family. Nowadays, there to be the square. Last attraction of day 2 is Grand Bazaar. There was built in 1455 by Sultan Mehmed. There are the largest and the oldest covered markets in the world. Also is the first shopping malls of the world. There have 61 covered streets and over 400 shops, famous for jewelry, ceramics, spices, and carpet shop. You can buy some special souvenir in here.
let's talk about the Dolmenbahan's Palace. This Baroque palace is different from the old palace with strong Islamic style. The land occupied by the palace is very spectacular because it is very large. It is also a manifestation of weight and national strength. At present, the hall of the palace will be open for visit according to the route planning at the time, which means that not all will be open. The chandeliers in the ballroom are said to have been beautifully presented by Queen Victoria of United Kingdom. There is a passage from the side of the palace to take a boat directly from the biosphere. Secondly, we will take part in the Bosphorus cruise and take a boat ride from the European area to explore the strait. This is the fastest way to get a raw idea of Istanbul, which is rich in cultural history. The boat trips will pass through different attractions. In Istanbul, you will not miss the sight of this Galata Kulesi, which stands alone on the high ground. This tower was used as an observatory between 1540 and 1595. It was used as a prison during the Sultan Sulaimán era and later as a dormitory for Ottoman military brands. During the 18th century, this tower was used as a warning tower for the Istanbul fire armor. It even became a lighthouse after the First World War. The Galata Tower has been used for a variety of different purposes, and its rich history experience has curated its unique style. Up to now, the observation desk and restaurant. Taksim Square, built in the 19th century. This Independence Avenue is the most famous street in Istanbul. A variety of the shops and tours from all over the world made this ancient street full of fashion and variety. There are different kinds of shops such as music shops, bookstore, cinema, library along the street. The locals and the foreign tourists come here, and then there are also many bars in the evening, which is a good place for the young people to socializing.
On the day 4, we will go to Pier Lotus Tapas, located in northwestern of downtown Istanbul. It was built in 19th century. That is a great place to watch the sunrise. Pier Lotus was in charge of the year as a naval officer and moved by the sceneries, living in there and fell in love with a local girl. Legends has it that they drink Turkey coffee together in outdoor coffee up in the mountain, even when Pier Lotus was writing. Since then, the year has developed a unique coffee culture, and the mountains has become more and more famous. It is also mentioned in many Turkish movies. The second attraction is blood. Since the 16th century, Bla has been an important green community with Muslim, Jews, and Greek setting here. This gives Bla a unique multi-relations and ancient look. It is also listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Monument. Bla is not far from the city center, and it is an interesting place. It has colorful demographic marvel, rather steep hills with steep slopes behind them. There have many smart coffee and bar. On the top of the mountain, you will see how people live, away from the tour air, and see the lazy black street life, which is a good experience. The last attraction of day 4 is Mishia Kashishi. The Mishia Kashishi was built in 1663. Used to be the Ottoman Empire's exclusive market from officers from Egypt, and it is still used today. Mishia is close to the door, and it was the place where machines from Egypt during the Ottoman Empire's graduates to sell the goods of the around country, mainly spices, which were then the largest spices distribution center in the whole Middle East. Today, the area around the Mishia Kashishi has become a traditional shopping center for people in Istanbul, where they can buy fruits and vegetables at local price and daily necessity.
Let's talk about the day 5 activity. We will provide to go to the Wildland in Istanbul. This is what the people call Turkey Disneyland. It is also a suitable place for adults and children. Children also have children play area, and there are also a lot of exciting facilities for adults. We prefer the students have free times to play in the park, and we will meet at night for dinner at a neighbor restaurant.
Let me introduce the history of Turkey. The modern Turk was originally a branch of the Seljuk Turk. It moved from Central Asia to Asia Minor around the 11th century. Ottomans celebrated the Ottoman Empire in 1299. By May 29, 1453, Muhammad captured Constantinople and destroyed the Byzantine Empire. By the 16th and 17th century, especially during the period for Suleiman, the territory reached its heyday, ruling regions across Europe, Asia, and Africa. It began to decline in the 19th century, when the Ottoman Empire reached its peak. The sultans of the Ottoman Empire regarded itself as the rulers of the world because of its influence on the free continents of Asia, Europe, and Africa, and inherited the culture of the Eastern Roman Empire and Islamic culture. So, Eastern and Western civilizations will unify. In 1914, Turkey joined the Allies in World War and was defeated in 1918. According to the Versailles Peace Treaty, Turkey was lost a largest territory. In 1919, Kermas launched the National Liberation War. On October 29, 1923, the Republic of Turkey was established.
This is the last day of our tour. This is our flight to go back Hong Kong. There have some tourist attention about this tour. In the part of Tsz Ying, the temperature was large difference between day and night in Turkey. Please bring a jacket and scarf to keep warm. Even in summer, the wind blowing at night is quite cold. Also, if you enter some mosque, women will always wear a headscarf. It is recommended not to wear clothes that expose your shoulder and legs. Then, the Hong Kong dollar is not suitable in Turkey. The US dollar is recommended. The Turkey currency is the lira. In Hong Kong, you need to change the US dollar first, and then after you arrive Turkey, you will be more convenient. The time difference between the two places is summer and winter. In summertime, it is 5 hours slower than Hong Kong, and in the wintertime, it is lower than Hong Kong 6 hours. For the meal, we mostly will eat Turkish food. We want to taste different kinds of local food. Based on the culture of Turkey, we will not eat pork in Islamic countries. We need to respect their culture. Besides, when we make an appointment as far as possible, we need to an appointment on time. When we visit their house, we need to take off your shoes before entering the house. Last, when we are speaking to tourists, don't talk about local politics and the disputes between Turkey and Greece. The budget of our study tour predict the total cost is $8,500. It is include the air ticket, accommodation, diet, charter car, miscellaneous expense, and insurance.
In this tour, we hope the student can know more about unique culture and local language of Turkey. Also, can make more new friends who are Turkish students or our university students, and to try some new things. The Istanbul of Turkey is the largest city and is located between Asia and Europe. It is a very distinctive city. Its architecture also reflects to the characteristic of other nations and empire once ruled the city. Shaped by many religious groups, the largest religious group is Islam. Learn more about the history of the time and different religious backgrounds. We will arrange classmates to go to the local university, exchange and stay with local family for one night. I hope we can learn more about the local culture. It is unique to our exchange group. It is a different experience from travel by yourself. Next, I will show you guys a video. It is to let all of you guys to know more about Turkey. After the video, do you want to join us? If yes, contact us. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you.